Let's start talking about traveling to Texas A&M for the SEC championships. How do you guys prepare for that? What's kind of your go-to way to get ready for that kind of travel?
Well, as far as all of our SEC championships, we have 5 venues that we can go to. Texas A&M is the farthest one away. So the travel, there's some pretty detailed planning that goes into it, and just me as a coach, I like to have as much time planned out for our athletes as I can. I want them to have to think about very few decisions. Their days are laid out for them. Very limited free time while we're on these trips, and I think the less they have to try to think through or decide or make decisions, the better off. So we're going to be headed out on Monday. The meet starts Wednesday night. We try to get out about 48 hours ahead of the start time for the meet. So we'll actually be running our first practice at Texas A&M on Monday evening, probably around 5, 6 o'clock, and that puts us literally about 48 hours right before the start of our first relay session and our first diving session on Wednesday night. So preparations at that point from a training standpoint are going to be relatively simple at that point. It's going to be a loosen up, maybe hit a little bit of speed, start working on their pace a little bit, but outside of that, the work is done. And so what we try to convey to our athletes now is the bulk of their workload, that's all behind us. That's Bear Bryant used to say the hay's in the barn, and that really is true in this case. So now we just try to fine-tune things. It's a very mental process right now, and making sure all of our athletes are confident going into this weekend. But the travel side of things, it is a tiring trip, and our university and our athletic department have made it as quick and painless as possible. We're going to be taking a direct flight from CAE right into College Station, so that's pretty painless. But outside of that, I think we're ready to go, and the travel thing, once logistics are taken care of, that usually rolls pretty smoothly.
Perfect. You were talking about kind of getting the fine-tuning in there, and I know a big part of what you guys do is trying to make sure you peak in this championship season. So how do you feel like you guys are on pace for that?
Well, our sport is interesting in that, we're expected to perform at a very high level week in and week out during our dual meet season. But the way training works with swimming is you try to really peak your volume and your hard work during December and January. And then as late January and early February rolls into play, you start to back off on the amount of training, the volume and the intensity. That sort of tapers down, hence the word taper. We go into a taper for our SEC championships and for our NCAA championships. So the goal here is to come down for SEC championships and make sure we're as fast as we can be in this environment in this week, but then to also leave some in the tank to re-rest again for NCAA championships. So our goal for SECs is to swim as fast as we can. We're looking for a lot of lifetime bests, but the main goal is to put as many people at the NCAA championships as we can. We have an opportunity to put a lot of folks there this year, both men and women. Every year we've improved our standing in terms of the number of athletes that we're taking. Last year I think it was the most we've ever taken on the men's side, that's a pretty neat goal to hit. And we're going to try to move past that this year. But the goal for SECs is to rest and be sharp, and then to re-rest again in 4 weeks after that for the NCAA championships.
Awesome. And then just looking back at last season's SECs, you guys had a pretty great meet. And a majority of some of your top swimmers are returners now. So how does that look for you guys going into this season?
Well, we've got great leadership on both sides, both men and women. We have leaders that have swam at the NCAA championships multiple times, and they know that environment. They know the stresses that come along with it. They know the expectations that come along with it now. So what's great about having leaders that know that environment is that our younger athletes learn and want to be in that environment. So it's good to have returners be your top athletes, and you have freshmen that are chasing them, so to speak. So I think that's a good thing. But going into NCAAs, that experience from all of our athletes, it's not, the expectation is different, honestly, from what it used to be. When I first got here, the goal was just to get there. And now getting there that's not a goal anymore. We're going to get there, and it's how many people are we going to get there and how many points are we going to score there. We have the opportunity to do some really great things this year, things we've never done in the history of this program. Both our men and our women are poised to score a lot of points at NCAAs, and we're excited about what the next 7 weeks holds, and to see what this group can accomplish.
Okay, just to finish up, are there any individuals you're really looking to? Anybody that might be surprising, might be coming out as far as underclassmen?
Well, I think what we're looking at is, as far as returners go, you've got your seniors that have been just rocks for 4 years that have changed the face of our program. But when you look at, for the men, you've got Tom Parabonio, you've got Akram Mahmoud. The leadership of Travis Morin has been just, you can't put a price on what a great leader can do. And so Travis being at SECs and being able to be that rock-solid leader that everybody needs in that moment when they're the most stressed and when they're the most nervous, and that having him knowing that he's standing there, that's a good feeling. And so those seniors have done great things for us. Nielswick Glosson has been multiple time All-American. Finn Manuth had a huge year last year, and he's only going to build on that this year and get better. As far as the women goes, I think you look at Emma Barksdale and Julia Vincent on the boards as two of our top point scorers. And these are two of the best in the nation. And, Julia has she has dove repeatedly throughout her career at a high level, but has competed at the highest level. She's been at the Olympics. So these meets, the size and the magnitude of the competition doesn't faze her at all. And so that's fun to watch. Emma Barksdale has really continued to improve over her 3 years here, and we're expecting her to have an outstanding meet. Not necessarily a breakout meet on her part, because she's already there. She's one of the best IMers in the country, and she's a young lady that it doesn't really matter where you put her. She's going to score and score well. Kirsten Durain has done an outstanding job as a captain this year. Again, an NCAA qualifier and somebody that we expect to be back there. But we have a lot of young ladies that I believe can make their first appearance in NCAAs this year. Emily Cornell, Christina Lappin, Aubrey Higgs, Marissa Delgado, Katie Shanahan. These are all young ladies that I feel can get back there. Meredith Vey has been there before. Meredith has had an outstanding career here, and she's battled some really tough years in terms of illness and things like that she's had to overcome, and she's hitting her stride again. It's a good year. It's been a good year from a training perspective and a competition perspective. And I know as far as the coaching staff goes, we're excited to see what these young men and women can do. They always represent our university to the best of their ability. They make me very proud every day. They make our coaches very proud every day. So going into the next few weeks, we're excited to see them perform and to realize the hard work that they've put in and watch it pay off.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.